2023 was a very interesting year for Ninjago. We got the so-so final wave of core sets, some banger sets with the summer wave, and most importantly, a brand new era for the series with season 1 of Dragon's Rising, which not only visually looks beautiful, but is easily the best Wildbrand season by miles. So in this video, we'll be focusing on ranking every 2023 Ninjago set from worst to first. Like always, polybags and full packs won't be counted for this list because they're mainly given away as freebies, so it won't be fair to compare them to actual retail sets. I also won't be including the Comic-Con Ryu figure as it doesn't use the traditional Comic-Con minifigure packaging, so it's very likely that this figure will be available at some point during next year's January, March, or summer Ninjago wave. For a 4+ set, Nia and Aaron's baby Dragon Ball isn't the worst, but compared to every other Ninjago set this year and factoring the outrageous retail price of €32, this quickly becomes the worst Ninjago set of 2023. The builds are just really mediocre, although this is the cheapest way to get Aaron, Nia, and Ryu, but honestly, I personally still won't get this set even with that in mind. Nia's Water Dragon Evo is easily the most forgettable set of the year, no thanks to its underwhelming design, although the minifigure selection isn't bad, and the banner design is pretty cool, but it is kinda sad to say that this is one of the most fairly priced sets of the year at €20. For a 4+ set, Kai and Raz's car and bike battle isn't that bad. Not good, but definitely not awful. It's a cheap way to get Raz and even has a Chima reference by including Chi in this set. Cole's Earth Dragon Evo is just very disappointing. For €35, this is shockingly bad. I really don't understand why this set wasn't $20, like come on. Sure, the dragon design is unique, but the head is straight ass with the way the head and jaw are connected. Lego were not cooking with this set. For €85, this just isn't good. It should have been like 65 or 70 at most. Lloyd's mech is straight up unfinished if you have Aaron's mech separated, which at least Aaron's mech is half decent on its own, but combined it just doesn't look great. The colors don't go that well together, and if anything, it looks more like Lloyd is holding Aaron like a baby. Now don't get me wrong, the concept of this set is fantastic, like there's so much potential behind it, but in execution, it's really bad. To be honest, the only problem with this set is that it should have been €40 and have been made for a different ninja, because did we really need a worse looking core Kai mech? Honestly, I would have preferred if it was a Jay or Cole or even Nia set, since neither of them got a core mech. The card design is good for $10, but there was just so much better sets released this year in comparison. This is a surprisingly banger 4+ set. The motorbike design is the best it could have done with the 4+ restrictions, and the little shrine build isn't half bad either. It kinda gives like season 2 vibes. Honestly, Jay's Lightning Jet Evo kinda feels like a Ninjago take on a microfighter from LEGO Star Wars. The build is decently sized for a really downscaled Stormfighter, and it's the cheapest way to get core J, which is honestly an excellent J suit. The Ninja Brick Box is one of the most creative Ninjago sets of all time. While sure the €60 price tag is a little high, you're essentially paying for a LEGO storage container with a bunch of parts to make either what's shown or whatever you want. Plus, this is the cheapest way to get core Wu, and has 2 exclusive dojo students who aren't all that sought after, but are a neat inclusion nonetheless. Kai's Dragon Power Spinjitzu flip is automatically the worst Dragon's Rising spinner based on the spinner design alone, although it does have the best minifigure of the true Dragon's Rising spinners. Unfortunately, the spinner part of this set is really lackluster. Nia's Dragon Power Spinjitzu Drift has a better spinner design, but again, the spinning play feature is really bad. Lloyd's Dragon Power Spinjitzu spin is the best spinner based on the fact that it actually spins. The bare minimum I know, but still. Lloyd's Mech Battle Evo is a pretty cool set for $20. The mechs look decent, with the bone mech being a particular standout, plus the inclusion of an exclusive Golden Lloyd minifigure is neat. When it comes to oversized Ninjago cars, Zane's Spinjitzu Race Car Mouthful is pretty unique, as lowering the car's spoiler allows the tires to lift up, making it easier for the Dragon Course to spin, which in turn allows the car to perform Spinjitzu, which again helps to stand out from sets like the X1 Ninja Charger and Lloyd's Ninja Nightcrawler. Plus, it's the cheapest way to get both Dragon's Rising Cole and Zane, who only really come in the more expensive sets of the wave. To be honest, the only thing holding back the Imperium Dragon Hound is the unfinished looking tail and disgusting Evo joints. At least you get Jay and Lloyd for $20, since they both come in the more expensive sets of the wave, plus you also get a pretty cool Imperium banner. Heatwave is such a peculiar set because it's not only not show accurate, but has quite possibly the worst play feature in LEGO history. Why is gamer posture considered a play feature, LEGO? Get this man a chiropractor now. Inaccuracy aside, the dragon's design is decent. I personally love the scale stickers sprinkled in, and the purple dragon core is a neat collectible. Plus, it's the only set to include Wildfire. But still, I don't understand why they gave this dragon horns when it clearly doesn't have those in the show. Sora's mech is really cool based on the fact that the mech is able to transform without having to rebuild the entire set or removing a decent chunk of the set, but personally I'm not a huge fan of the mech design because it just looks kinda clunky. I don't really know how else to put it. It's like they took a motorbike and stuck some legs under it, which I get that's kind of the point of the set, but I prefer the mech's blank transformation. However, a big downside of this set is that for some reason the designers decided to completely omit the mech's flight mode. I really don't understand why they didn't include this mode since it appears at the very beginning of Dragon's Rising Season 1 and also later throughout the season. At least it's the cheapest way to get Sora and Aaron as well as Ryu if you didn't want to pick up this subpar 4+ set. If Jay's Titan mech was an 80 bucks and wasn't held back by the shoddy Evo joints, this set would have easily been 3rd place on this list. Although for 80 bucks, the minifigure selection isn't half bad. Plus we have to acknowledge the very obvious Evangelion inspiration. This is also probably the closest we'll ever get to an Ava unit set, which is kinda sad. The big FU shooters are sick though, but the bendy line thing attached to the head, it doesn't actually connect to the back, which is just so weird. My opinion on this bounty changes on the flip of a dime. First off, the retail price of €150 just isn't good. The shaping of the bounty gives major possession bounty vibes with a slim look and 2 sails, plus the decent dragon side build. Really all the set was missing was Empress Beatrix and Ross being a near 1-for-1 reimagining. The bottom of the bounty is just too flat, which I get is so that you can fit the dragon under the deck of the ship, but if you have to resort to doing this, maybe it's not worth it. There's some charming aspects to the set, like Kai's crew drawing from the show, the little kennel area for Ryu, and the living quarters in the interior of the bounty. If this set was maybe 120 or 125, it might have even made it to 3rd place on this list, but as it is, it's staying firmly at 5th place. This is easily the best Ice Dragon set to date. It's got a fairly large design, there's a great minifigure selection, especially for core, plus we've never gotten a 6-legged dragon before, and the extra long banners are a neat inclusion. The weirdest part of this set is that it's a 2-in-1, which is weird for a set that costs €100. Normally 2-in-1 sets don't really leave the 20 to 40 price range, so to see a 2-in-1 set at this price tag is interesting. The same can't be said for the alternative build because this is straight up bad. All they did was make the dragon stand on 2 feet and remove the middle legs. Still though, if you were to just get one core set, this would have to be it. A good way to end an otherwise terrible sub-theme. For a Ninjago temple design, this set is beautiful. You don't often see vertical temples in Ninjago, but when you do, they're pretty good. The tree shaping is superb, plus the temple spirit minifigure is an incredible exclusive minifigure. The only complaint I have is the random shrine side build being literally disconnected from the temple build. Kinda feels like an afterthought. This set slaps. The Lightning Dragon build is just so goddamn cool looking, with the electricity overflowing from the dragon's mouth and flowing down the dragon's tail. You can even remove the dragon's armor to create a massively oversized glider for Jay. You can also just display the dragon with a traditional saddle or without it to look more like a wild dragon, but personally, I think the dragon looks better with its armor attached, and really the cherry on top for this set is the inclusion of Empress Beatrix's mech. It's essentially a souped up Ninjago core mech, and honestly, this design for core mechs is not only just straight up better, but also has the benefit of actually having posability, since the mech uses ball joints instead of the crappy Evo mech joints. Also, the mech sword gives massive Prime Empire vibes with the blade. Kinda disappointed now that we never got a red visor or Unagami mech. Weirdly enough too, the Imperium Guard is currently an exclusive minifigure, which will probably change with the release of future Dragon's Rising sets. In fact, this set's minifigure selection is honestly really solid. Undoubtedly, the best Ninjago set of 2023 is Ninjago City Markets. This is yet another incredible addition to the Ninjago City line, with a uniquely open look to the set. It even has a working cable car. Not to mention the minifigure selection is really surprising, with the first ever Camille minifigure, Detective Zane from Ninjago Confidential, Casual Aaron and Sora minifigures, both Gale Gossip and Vinny, Misdemeanor, Sunset Garmadon Derf, Hound Dog McBragg, and not to mention the first ever Cyrus Borg minifigure. The only downside to this banger minifigure selection is Blacksmith Kai, who instead of having a new torso and leg print, he simply reuses the torso and legs from the Ninjago movie Ed minifigure, which is very disappointing, when we've essentially been waiting for this minifigure to be officially made for the past 12 and nearly 13 years. But that doesn't take away from the incredible looking build of this set, LEGO really cooked with this set. Overall, 2023 was a very interesting year for Ninjago. We got the best Wild Brain Ninjago season since Seabound, because let's be honest with ourselves, the last 4 years of Ninjago has been filled with absolute mediocrity, at least when it comes to the show. However, the highlight of the year has to be the end of Ninjago Core, because good God, that sub-theme completely sucked. The sets themselves this year were mostly really good, even the 4+ sets, which is something you can't say often. Although I feel like Crystallize has stronger set design, minus the top 3 sets on this list. But that's a high bar to pass considering how great last year's sets were. But all that said though, let me know your set rankings in the comments, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to stay notified for my future LEGO videos. And until next time, see ya.